The following is an encore presentation of stories from the Dooralong Transformation Centre. Minutes past 10. You're tuned, of course, to 94.9 Rima Central Coast. We've got one of our great inspirational guests in from the Dooralong Transformation Centre. It's Adam. Good morning to you, Adam. How are you?
Good, mate. Yourself?
I'm very well, thanks. How's life at Dooralong?
Great.
I would imagine this time of the year is pretty special. It's not too hot and winter hasn't really kicked in yet. It would be a nice time.
It is. It's a lovely place out there. The grounds are spectacular. A bit of wet weather that's been around is sort of making it a bit damp out there, but it's still a nice place.
And everything sprung back to life, I guess.
It does really quickly out there.
Yeah. And I was going to say a boy from the bush, but you were born out of Cessnock way, so you're used to life in the bush.
I am, yes.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a home from home for you.
It is a bit, yeah. It's also it's good being close to the coast as well. So
yeah.
Bit closer than Cessnock, but.
Yeah. It is a good spot, the Central Coast, isn't it?
It is. I'm actually thinking of, it may be an area that I may think about relocating to.
Yeah. Good for you. Would love to have you. Okay, you've been at Dooralong now for 6 months.
Yeah, just a bit over 6 months.
And what is it? What is the addiction that brought you to Dooralong?
Methamphetamine was the one that brought me to the Dooralong originally. That's
one of the more well, they're all serious, but that's a pretty sort of hard drug, isn't it?
It does. It doesn't discriminate against who you are.
No. And is this the one that really sort of makes you an addict very, very quickly?
I guess they all can make you an addict very quickly. It depends on the person and the situations that they're going through at the time. I think is one that can really determine how quick it takes you.
Yeah. Some of them make people violent and make them behave in strange ways. Was that your experience?
No, I was never a violent person. I was one of people say there's happy drunks and that. I was a happy user.
You were a happy user.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, let's turn the clock back a little bit. We don't want to dwell on any of the issues. And just a warning, if you've got any little kiddies, little toddlers, perhaps, we're going to be talking about adult themes, so perhaps you might just want to find something else for them to play with during the next 10 minutes or so. So, Adam, when did the drugs come into your life? Because I can see, the listeners can't, but I can see you're probably in your sort of early 30s, aren't you now?
35.
Oh, yeah, early, mid-30s. At what age did drugs sort of make an appearance in your life?
I think it was about 12-year-old when I first started getting on the drugs.
Geez, so they've been in your life more than they haven't been in your life.
Yeah, it's been a big part of my life. So it's a very good experience for me to be taking on this recovery role.
Yeah.
To be learning new things of life and that. And I used to hate life. It really got me to a bad spot. But now I love life. I'm looking forward to getting out of rehab and taking on the role. Enjoying life. I'm really happy about going to Dooralong.
So what's a 12-year-old boy growing up in rural Australia in the bush there at Cessnock? Why are you taking drugs?
I originally started taking drugs because I was sexually assaulted as a young kid. That's how I was groomed into that position. The bloke was offering us drugs and alcohol at a young age.
Yeah. So it wasn't a choice of yours, it was just that was the way in which the person groomed you.
Yeah. That's when I started taking drugs, and from thereafter it became a way of me self-medicating to help hide my demons and deal with them. Yeah.
Because those demons would have been all sorts of raw emotions, battling for attention. It must have been a turmoil that your mind was in.
It was. It doesn't. I'm not saying that my mind's any better today. Like it still does rattle me a bit. But I've now learnt ways that I can cope with these issues.
Especially for a child, it's hard enough for an adult, I imagine, to deal with all those competing feelings. But for a young 12-year-old boy and then going through adolescence, I can't imagine how tough that must have been.
It was pretty tough.
So the drugs and the alcohol were a way then, as you said, of self-medicating and burying your feelings, just getting through the day.
Yep.
So how bad a problem did the drugs become for you?
I never thought that they were really that bad. But I guess now when I look back at life, I'd lost relationships, I'd lost jobs. It became a daily thing for me. Especially towards the end there, I started taking the meth, which I never thought I was an addict. It became a daily thing. Every morning I was getting on it.
You were never offered any counselling for the abuse? No therapy?
I was, but I guess I really wasn't ready to deal with it. I've got a close mate who was also assaulted by the same bloke, and he come to me one day and said, "Look, mate," he says, "I know what's happened." He says, "But he says no one can force you to talk about this. You've got to do it on your time when you're ready." So
yeah, and it's sort of counterintuitive, isn't it? You don't really want to talk about it because it makes you feel bad, but therapeutically, it's probably good to talk about it. So you just don't know what to do.
It is. That's one of the things that we learn out there. You've got to be able to talk about your feelings and emotions and that. A long time ago, it was very hard for me to talk about it. Where now, I'm not afraid to tell people that I was sexually assaulted as a kid.
Yeah,
and
it's a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact, and it's something. It's something that I can't change. The things that I can change is how I deal with it now.
Yeah. So drugs had got hold of you. You were, as you say, self-medicating. But we now know that you're at Dooralong. What was the trigger then for you to sort of get yourself clean?
My kids, really.
Yeah.
I've got two beautiful kids. I've got a little girl who's just turned 11 and a little boy who's 7. And my boy's like Dad's little man, He's my big thing, as much as my daughter is as well.
So you were an addict during the whole of their lives, really, up until about 6 months ago?
Yeah. Yep.
What did you miss out on?
Lots of things. As much as I was always I wasn't really around my girl because she's with a different mother. But my boy, I was always around him in that. But as much as I was around him, I was never really there.
Yeah.
My mind wasn't there.
Sort of physically there, but sort of emotionally, or sort of your mind was somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was the motivation. That was the trigger.
Yeah.
To be a good dad and to have a good relationship with my kids, I'm going to have to do something.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big decision you made there. How long did that take for you to sort of decide, look, Adam, do it?
Oh, probably 6 months or more. Yeah, I sort of contemplated on doing it.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm probably one of the more fortunate ones. A lot of people will ring Dooralong on a daily basis to get in.
Yes.
I only rang them 4 times over a period of maybe 4 months, 5 months.
Yes. And
on the last time that I called there, the beautiful reception lady Sharon out there, she said, "Yep." She goes, "You've called a few times now, haven't you?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I'll get someone to call you back tomorrow." And
oh wow.
Yeah, within 2 weeks I was packing my bags and on my way.
Amazing. Why did you choose Dooralong?
I heard other people talk about Dooralong, and I guess it was just something. I then started googling it and looking at the place that it was, and just thought, wow, like, what a place. I didn't want to be stuck in somewhere that reminded me of a hospital or
no, because that's the image we all have of well, I know that it's not called a rehab centre, but that's the image we have, isn't it, of long white corridors and doctors in white coats.
Yeah, exactly.
And nothing could be further from the truth, as it Dooralong.
No, it's nothing like that. It's a magnificent place out there. All the workers out there are great.
So 6 months ago, they said, "Yeah, Adam, we've a place for you," and you arrived at Dooralong.
Yeah.
Big turning point in your life?
Yeah, a massive one. I'm grateful for the place.
Yeah. It's 26 minutes past 10, talking to Adam this morning from Dooralong. Adam, as he was explaining to us, has been at Dooralong now for 6 months. The motivation to go to Dooralong was just to have a much, much better relationship with his kids, particularly his son. For the whole of Adam's son's life, Adam had been an addict, so you wanted to be clean for your son. And you wanted to enjoy him and play soccer and do stupid things on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be able to get out with him and do a lot more things, where before I'd be more just sitting on the lounge with him and that, where he's not getting out and doing the fatherly things that I should have been doing with him.
Make some memories for the both of you.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Okay, so you find yourself at Dooralong. You have to go to detox first, don't you?
Yes, you do.
If you've been on drugs since the age of 12, how hard was that?
It's a lot of people do find it hard. It's hard for me to say that it was hard because it's something that I really wanted. I really needed recovery.
Yeah.
So I sort of took on this whole journey with an open mind and willing to do whatever it takes to be a better person.
Yeah. So yeah, it was hard, but the goal was much more important for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So you do your stint of detox, then you get in a little minibus and they drive you out to Dooralong.
Yep.
And you're thinking, hey, this is like a 5-star resort.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, and it was in the past, of course,
Yep.
a 5-star resort. But yeah, for somebody from Cessnock, it must have reminded you of life back home.
Yeah, it did it to a point. You know, it brought back a lot of things. You know, when I first left school, and that one of my first jobs was a rural fencer. So you know, being back in the bush was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. What's it like being in that community with over 100 other people who are all suffering? Well, suffering's probably not the right word, but they've all got issues in their life. They all have their own personal challenges and trials, and relationships can be a bit fractious. What's it like to sort of be parachuted into a community like that?
I think it was a bit daunting at start, but in no time I just realised how great it was out there, and how everybody's helpful out there. No one's going to turn you away for having a conversation. If you've got a problem, there's always someone there that's willing to have a chat with you.
And you're talking about the other participants as well as the staff?
Yeah, definitely. Probably more so. I think I probably talk more to the participants more than what I do the staff.
You can learn off each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, we noticed, I say we, a bunch of us from Rima have been there on your chapel nights, and the one thing that struck us in the chapel night was how much sort of mutual support there. There were some people graduating, and the rest of the people were genuinely, really, really pleased for them. You could see.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's,
you care for each other.
We do, but it's also an amazing energy out there on the chapel nights. It's really uplifting.
Yes, that's what we found as well. So you got to Dooralong. This is your first attempt at sort of becoming clean?
Yeah, it is. It's my very first attempt.
So you had no idea what to expect?
None at all.
What was it like that first week then? First 2 weeks maybe?
It was different. It was different.
Yeah.
I met a very good mate of mine, who's now a very good mate of mine, Scotty. He was down at detox at the same time that I was, and he'd already been to Dooralong, so he'd sort of told me things that to expect and what not to expect and this and that.
Yeah.
And he's sort of been in my corner from day dot. So I've had a good mate to help me through the place.
So you weren't on your own.
No, definitely not. And nobody out there's on their own.
Okay, a couple of tough questions for you. What's been the best part of Dooralong? Perhaps it's one of the programs or the staff or whatever. And what's been, I won't say the worst part, but the less than best part? What's the best thing about Dooralong for you?
The best part that I've got from Dooralong at the moment is the new lease of life. I used to hate life, like really badly. I couldn't commit suicide, but I didn't want to live anymore. We're now being out at Dooralong and that, they've changed me heaps. I now love life. I look forward to living.
That's a big change for you, isn't it?
It's a massive change.
Yeah. How long is it since you've been able to say that you love life?
Oh, a very long time.
As long as you can remember.
Yeah, as long as I can remember, really.
Yeah. And the programs there, they've been really good for you?
It's a terrific program. Yeah, I can't thank Dooralong enough, and the people out at Dooralong for letting me go there and take on this journey out there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And what's the hardest part of it? It's not the food, because we sampled the food. The food is very good.
Yes, the food is good.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is probably being away from your kids.
Yeah.
That's my hardest part. But
you've never been tempted then to just leave because you're there voluntary?
No, I've never had that thought of leaving ever. From the day that I went into the program, I went in there with an open mind and willing to do whatever it takes to complete program.
Yeah.
I hear people come in saying that they're only going to do 3 months or 6 months. From the day dot I was completing program.
For however long it took.
However long it took.
Yeah. No set time.
No.
Yeah. The other thing we always ask our guests on Wednesdays is, of course, and you would have known this, it's the Salvation Army that run Dooralong, so you would have known that was a Christian sort of input into everything that they do at Dooralong. How is that sitting with you?
Really, really good. Actually, before I went into Dooralong, I had me little fella come home from school one day and told me that he was learning about Jesus and that at school, and I sort of like went, "Oh, buddy, you know, Dad doesn't really believe in that stuff, you know."
Yeah.
Because there are other religions out there that people follow, and that's fine for them to have their own beliefs and their own religion. So I was a bit like, oh my God, like,
yeah, what's happening?
But on my first night at Dooralong, on the chapel night there, I don't know what it was, but something just felt like the weight of my world just come off my shoulders, and it was just like, wow, yeah, it blew me away. So I was even more excited just from that first. You know, I went on there on the Tuesday, on the Wednesday night.
Yeah.
We had our first chapel night, and I was just like, wow, I couldn't wait. I was looking forward to it.
So what happened? You felt something?
Yeah, I felt something. Something tingled, like went straight up the back of my spine, off my shoulders, and just blew me away.
You just felt changed?
Yeah, easy, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you now are a regular churchgoer at one of the Salvos churches?
I'm sort of fortunate. I go through a few different ones because I'm one of the bus drivers.
Oh, you can choose your own.
Yeah, I don't really get to choose my own, but I do go to a few of the variety of churches that they have.
Yeah, which is good because then you get to see them all, and we're all different, and we all got different tastes. You can find one that's going to appeal to you.
Yeah, and it's good too because me young fellas like, you know, right into the God and Jesus things now. So it's good that I can talk to him about it and experience those things with him.
Yeah, you can help each other.
Yeah,
talking about that's really good. That's really encouraging. If somebody had said that to you 12 months ago, you'd have thought, nah.
Yeah, definitely. I would have been, no, what are you on about? No way.
I'm going to be in Dooralong transformation on a sort of rehab in inverted commas, and, you know, happy to talk to my little boy about Jesus and God and things. You'd have thought, nah, that's never going to happen.
No, well, that's exactly right. You know, even when I sort of decided to go into rehab and that, and looked up Dooralong on the internet and that, I didn't really read into it about being a Christian-based thing. It wasn't until I was really, like, going there, and I was down in detox, and my mate was saying, "Oh, you know, it's a Christian base," and I was like, "Whoa, what have I got myself into here?" But it didn't deter me from going.
No,
I was still willing to change my life.
Yeah, and I think so many people have so much trust with the Salvos that they know that, look, it's not going to be bad, it's not going to hurt me. It's the Salvos; they'll take care of me.
Oh, they do a marvelous job.
They do.
Yeah.
So you've done some of the Christian sort of studies that they have out there?
Yeah, I've been and completed the Alpha course.
Oh yeah. We were talking to somebody last week who's just done it. He was telling us about the Holy Spirit weekend that you had away.
Yeah.
Down at
Collaroy. Yeah. That was like amazing.
You were there as well?
Yeah, I was there as well. I wish we would have stayed a few more days. Yeah, it was really good down there.
Yeah.
That was just a really good experience. It's opened my mind up a lot more.
Yeah. In what way?
It's probably given me. It's given me strength to strengthen my belief in in Jesus and that.
So Christianity isn't what you thought it was before you got involved. It's not a long list of rules and regulations.
No, it's not. It's about enjoying life, really.
It is, isn't it?
It is.
And it's not about ceremonies and liturgies and things like that. It's just about knowing that there is something out there that's greater than all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
And having that connection through Christ.
Which is something I've never had before.
Yeah.
I've had drugs and alcohol in my life for a long time. Yeah. So it's good to have something new in there.
Rima Central Coast. In the studio we've got Adam. Adam's telling us all about the great things that have been happening for him at Dooralong since he arrived there 6 months ago. He has now been clean for 6 months, and he cannot remember when the last time he said that. And he's also looking forward to spending some time with your boy this Easter, you were telling me.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time to as you said before, I can't remember the last time that I was sober or clean. So it'll be good to actually be there this time.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been at Dooralong 6 months now. Have you any idea when you will be able to graduate?
I can graduate basically any time now. But I'm going to go into the re-entry phase, which gives me a bit more leeway of being able to be off site and that, so I can arrange my future job and a vehicle and whatnot.
So you could leave now, but you decided to be sensible about this, or just be a little bit cautious and do it slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
Yeah, it is. I think it's the best one I've made so far. Yeah. So besides going to Dooralong, it's the other best.
Because it would be a shame to think, right, that's it, I'm cured, and then just say, bye, see you, and then have no supports put in place, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. That's my biggest, I guess it's sort of a fear at the moment, is I don't want to leave there, and I'm not going to leave there to find out that, there's no job there waiting for me or anything like that, and then I'm just stuck sitting around in my own head again.
So you want to sort of make sure there's some sort of umbilical cord attached to you and Dooralong.
Yeah, definitely.
At least for the next 6-12 months or so.
Yeah, I can see myself actually going back from probably most of the chapel nights.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a good place. I love the chapel nights out there.
Yeah. You come from Cessnock. Is that an area that you would go back to, or I think you said you were thinking of settling here on the coast?
Yeah, I will be going back to Cessnock for a little while, just till I can save up some money to, get a bond for a house and whatnot, and then I'll look at the options then of where I'm working and whatnot will be to determine where I go to actually live. But I'd love to be on the Central Coast.
Yeah. And church, will that continue to play a part in your life into the future?
It will be. I'm actually sort of looking forward to it being able to, once I get my car, and that'll be able to take my young bloke along with me in that.
Yeah. Hey, that would be good.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Adam taking his young boy to church. I mean, what's going on?
No, it's a big change for me, I tell you.
Yeah. What does your mum make of all this? Because she's seen you through, the bad times, the lots of bad times.
Yeah, she's very proud of me and the changes that I've made. She just wants me to be happy, healthy.
Yeah. But proud, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
And quite rightly so. You should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, I am. That's my biggest thing. It's one thing I sort of say to a few people too. Is it's not about having other people proud for you. You've got to be proud for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So life has changed 180 degrees.
Oh, big time. Yeah. It's definitely changed for mine.
Yeah. And all because, can you remember the day you decided to ring Dooralong for the first time?
I couldn't remember the exact the very first day that I decided, but I'll tell you, it's one of the best things I ever did do.
Yeah, it has completely transformed your life.
Oh, it has.
And what work have they got you doing out there?
I'm on property. I'm quite lucky. Most people, when they go into the program, they get put on to rake and leaves and that for the first few weeks. Where I've had experience in driving tractors and trucks and that before, right. I spent one day on the rake and leaves and then went into driving the big tractor out there. So
yeah, big boy toys.
Yeah.
But that means that you're not in the kitchen, so your absences are going to be missed because it's chapel night tonight and you're going to have a real big roast meal, aren't you?
If we will have a good roast meal tonight, I'm looking forward to the roast meals. I think that's probably one of my other favourite parts about Wednesday nights is having the baked dinner.
Hey, just before we finish, what did you think of the very first chapel night? You answered that before, because it was at that very first chapel night that something happened to you.
Yeah, it changed my life big time.
Yeah, definitely. You felt something within yourself.
Yeah, and I can't thank Dooralong enough for having me there and let me go through this change process.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it to anyone that's struggling out there in addiction to pick up that phone and call them.
And would that be your advice? There might be mums like your mum with sons or daughters that are struggling. There might be people who are themselves struggling listening to the programme. What advice would you give them?
They can't ring up for the kids themselves. The kids have got to be the one to do it. I guess probably let them listen to the podcast. Get them to listen to these podcasts and listen to the life-changing stories. Yeah,
excellent idea. Rema.cc, if our listeners don't know, if you go to Rema.cc, click on the podcast tab, you can listen to all the Dooralong stories there. And look, if you know somebody who's in addiction, some of those stories will probably ring a bell with you, and perhaps just give the link to somebody who's in that place, and it might just give them the hope for the future that they need, because there is hope for the future, isn't there?
There certainly
is.
You
have hope for the future.
I've got a lot more hope now than what I had 6 months ago.
Yeah. And Adam is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and he's radiating that hopefulness and the spirit of God, I think, that's within him. So
thank you.
Look, it's been an absolute delight to have you here, Adam. We're going to let you go because I know you've got work to do back at Dooralong. Where will you? I was going to say, where will you be spending Easter? But you've already answered that one for me. You're spending time with your boy.
Yeah, we're going back to my mum's place to spend it with my young fella.
You'll be going to church.
If we can get there, it is hard at the moment because I haven't got transport at the moment. But yeah,
Look, wherever you spend Easter, you have a great time with your boy.
Oh, well, thanks, mate.
Yeah, and thanks for coming in, and give our regards to everybody back at Dooralong.
I will do.
They're an exceptional bunch of people.
They are. There's a lovely place out there.
Lovely place, lovely. You've been listening to an encore presentation of the Dooralong stories, which can be heard live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and repeated 8 p.m. Sunday and 1 a.m. Wednesday, right here on 94.9 rema.cc.